Hola Buenas! Welcome to this second video here in Venezuela, Isla Margarita. As you would imagine, in this idealistic part of the world, there is no better place to be than the beach. You're about to see a lot of them in this episode, which spans 4 days. So without any further ado, let's get started. Empecemos. For those that don't know, I don't typically drink alcohol. I'm not opposed to it, and I'm happy to surround myself with those that do drink. I just choose not to. That being said, Venezuela doesn't really cater for those that don't drink. I therefore had a tough time finding non-alcoholic counterparts to the point where I actually came out with a crate of non-alcoholic beers for the journey here. That being said, I managed to find a shop that sold non-alcoholic Heineken, which to be honest made me very happy because then I had beers to have when we were down the beach.
We're at the sea today. As you can see, the sea is not super rough. The reason why is this is the south, and actually you can see the mainland from here as well, so that's really cool.
Here we are at the Aqua Park Beach Club in Playa Concorde. I had an empanada for breakfast and for lunch some oysters and this bowl of seafood. Now, the bowl of seafood, I'd love to be able to tell you what it's actually called, but it appears to have many names. Cóctel, rompe colchón, vuelve a la vida, siete potencias, and levanta muerto. For those that don't speak Spanish, I will repeat those names but in English. Cocktail, break mattress, come back to life, 7 powers, and wake up dead. Why? I don't know, but it was delicious and of course fresh from the sea. As mentioned before, finding a non-alcoholic drink in Venezuela is like finding a needle in a haystack. But I asked for a mojito without alcohol. I got some really weird looks, but they understood what I was looking for. It was actually really good.
Effectively, we've spent the whole day at the beach. It's been absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful here. Today has been a super chill day.
My friend gave her cat an olive, and for some reason, the cat is infatuated by it. Not really relevant to my adventures here in Venezuela, but it made me laugh. So I thought I'd keep it here for you guys. Okay, so something to explain about this point in our adventure. We started to have intermittent power cuts across the whole of the region, not just the island, but some places on the mainland too. Apparently, this is not uncommon. However, what I was about to experience was around a week of on and off power cuts, something I had never experienced in my life. I mean, sure, maybe one power cut that lasted a couple of hours, but past that, usually things go back to normal. Not here. Anyway, back to the story.
Okay, so we're currently just chilling out. The sun is setting, it's absolutely beautiful, but we have a power cut, and so there's nothing for us to do right now. So we're just chilling out, we're enjoying ourselves, but the view is absolutely incredible, so I can't complain.
Because there was no power in my friend's flat, we decided to go to a mall where they had emergency generators to get some dinner. And check out the mall. It's really impressive with bridges, water fountains, restaurants, bars, and shops. The name of this mall is Sambil, which I didn't realize at the time, but we actually have this chain of malls here in Spain.
That was quite funny timing there. We were literally crossing this bridge here in order to leave this mall, and all of the lights all of a sudden cut off. So we still haven't escaped the power cuts. They're still occurring, and when we get back it will be the same as well. So yeah.
This day was super chilled out and laid back, and I certainly felt like I was getting into the holiday vibes. Moving on to our next day now, we went to Museo Marino, or Marine Museum in English. It was pretty big and there were a lot of things to see. It was interesting to see that there were not that many people here. I thought for attractions such as this, there would be lots of people.
So this is actually a real whale, but what they've done is they've painted over the top of it, but you can see how big they can get.
So I thought this was pretty freaky. This is actually in gelatin. I thought it was just in water. This has been preserved, but you can see it's completely real, and they've just put it in this box. And if you look up here, you can see the droplets. So I thought, oh, okay, so they just put it in some sort of liquid, like in salt water or something. But of course, it would decompose it there, right? But crazy. You can see in here we have these different shells, but in the middle you can actually see that there's a bunch of pearls dotted around. Really cool. So as you can see, these are the roots of the trees. So the trees are coming out, but you can see here that attached to the roots, which by the way, are not attached to the soil, they're just in the water. But you can see that there are a bunch of oysters attached to the roots. And this is how they collect them in order to eat them. Again, no matter where you go, they seem to have these vergens here. I keep making the mistake of saying it's Maria, but it's actually not. This is vergen de Valle, slightly different. This recording doesn't do it justice, but it is incredibly hot here. And the interesting thing is we're actually on the West Island at the moment. And on the west side, they have a much more arid climate. I don't know why the climate changes so much, but on the east side, it's a lot more humid and green. And here is more arid. But yeah, incredibly hot today. Gracias. Hasta luego. After leaving the museum, we headed to Parque Nacional Laguna de la Restinga. This is actually where they get their oysters from. They hang off the mangroves in this laguna. The price for my entry was $5 and $1 for my friend who is a national. Still not a bad price. When we arrived at the Playa La Restinga, or Restinga Beach, we took a seat which we got totally ripped off. We stayed there for 2 hours and the guy charged us $10. That's just for the seat. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that is insane, especially considering we were one of the only people visiting this beach and everything else was so much more affordable.
I have no idea if you guys can hear me or not, but basically the beach we're on right now actually connects the West Island to the East Island. So from this side, this is the West Island, and from this side is the East Island. The way to get across from west to east is very simple now. What they've done is they've built a bridge. However, this is a natural crossing from one island to the other. Now it's just called Isla Margarita, and within Isla Margarita there are 2 islands. However, it's brought together as one singular island because of this beach. It's 27 kilometers of beach. 27 kilometers. Amazing. You can find me at the end of that pre-roll. Shawty record her thrills on a cell phone. I'm in a moment, I ain't worried about that B-roll. You know I'm on you. Let me get that mood boost. Fall through when the sun go down. I could tell you want me to. I just touched down in the town. Let's go OT to you OD. All these blessings at my feet, I want for anything. Hay muchas bendiciones que me falta. Things are not really done with measurements here, but basically a bucket of oysters costs $30. They call these buckets un tobo. I wanted to say it's a kilo of oysters, but actually I think it's quite a lot more than that.
Next, we went to Playa El Yaque, which was much more touristy and famous for its kite surfing.
I was actually falling asleep in the car, so I just had a quick dip in the water. It's woken me up, feel much better, and we're gonna have some lunch now. Very good.
If I'm honest, I much preferred this beach. However, I can understand that the reason why is it's literally made to bring in tourists. And with that, you get much steeper prices. As you arrive, people will try to get you into their beach clubs as quickly as possible so they can capitalize on the visitors. My recommendation would be to shop around and find the prices and quality that you're looking for. The first place we went to, we were forced into a small space like sardines and given a menu that was ridiculously overpriced, none of which particularly interested us. We simply got up and left and went to another further down the beach. What we found was the prices were far more reasonable. We had much more space to ourselves and we thoroughly enjoyed the atmosphere in addition to the music. For copyright reasons, I can't play that music, but what I'm gonna do is play some similar music for you to listen to. The following day, we made our way back to Playa de Concorde. This time, we would be taking a boat from here to an island called Coche, which means car in Spanish.
Sácame a bailar, que yo tengo pena y quiero vacilar. Oye, Maranita, sácame a bailar, que yo tengo pena y quiero vacilar. Contigo, contigo y con nadie más. Contigo, contigo y con nadie más.
The name of the island we're on right now is called Coche. I tried to find out exactly why that is, and I couldn't find out. Now this island, Coche, is actually quite small. We have this beautiful beach here, and as you can see, there's a bunch of palm trees up here and hotels and bars. We got here using that boat there, that's in the background. And the trip was maybe like an hour, but apparently, in order for us to get back, it takes a little bit longer, and the reason why is we're going against the waves. So it's gonna be a little bit choppier on the way back. We arrived here maybe at like 11 a.m. and we leave here at 3. So we'll probably get back at around 4:30, I guess. I must say there's one thing that's incredibly annoying here, and it's the number of people that come up to you trying to sell you stuff. There's another word I want to use rather than stuff, but I try and keep it as polite as possible. But yeah, literally everywhere you go, every 5 minutes, someone, do you want to buy this? No, no, I don't. To be honest with you, I wasn't entirely sure about whether you could record in public here. What I mean by that is I wasn't sure about the security. Now, I've been to Colombia before, and Colombia is a beautiful country. However, one thing you cannot do there is just take a camera out and start recording. Someone will try and steal it off you. Of course, it does depend on where you go in the country, but in the places I was going, mostly in Bogota, for example, you can't do that. It seems as though it's appropriate here and it's fine. It feels fairly safe here too, but of course you still have to have your wits about you. You can't just walk around and leave your stuff all over the place. This is the hotel owned by Sunsod, which is the company actually that we took the boat over with. You can see it's really beautiful here, really nice. Exactly what you'd expect from a Caribbean island. A lot of the signs appear to be in English, Spanish and Russian. I know my audience isn't very large in Russia, but maybe one day, who knows?
The lunch was absolutely amazing. All you can eat and fresh fish. We were also accompanied by these wild iguanas. I was completely fascinated by these. The only thing to ruin this experience was the screaming children at the iguanas. Yes, we know, we can all see them. This tends to happen a lot of the time. I start recording myself talking and forget to realize how windy it can be. You cannot hear a word of what I'm saying, but basically I'm saying we're heading back to Isla Margarita. The following day, we went to another beach, this time to Playa Parguito. A quick explanation for those that don't speak Spanish. Parguito is a diminutive of the word pargo in Spanish, which is a type of fish called snapper in English. That being said, it would be rude not to have a snapper fish on Playa Parguito. I had a snapper with arepas on the side, which is a kind of South American flatbread made with corn flour. They are actually really easy to make, super delicious, and I like to make them quite often myself at home. I did something stupid today and I forgot my hat. So I've been trying to keep underneath the umbrella and trying to keep cool, which is not too bad because I just jump in the water. Right now I'm going on a mini adventure. My plan is to climb up this little mini mountain here. We're currently just chilling on the beach. Okay, it's not really a mountain, it's a cliff, but still, let's make it sound more epic than it is, I suppose. It's very hilly though. Have a look at this view behind me. Amazing. We're going to be super careful as we go up here. You can see all the rocks around here. Oh, we're getting there. So we're at this beautiful beach today, and tomorrow we're actually going to another island. And the island we're going to, I'm looking at it right now, so I'm going to spin the camera around. You can see it in the distance over there. And we made it back down. Later that evening, we went for some drinks and I had a shawarma in a bar called Costa Bar. I have had the pleasure of having a London kebab and even a German kebab. Both are completely out of this world, and this was definitely up there with one of the best Turkish meals I have ever had. In fact, I had 2 of them. And on that note, thank you so much for watching this week's video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and until then, thanks.